The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Digital Edge Bidders Conference for Invitation to Bid number ESD 112-DE-14B. I'm Debbie Shergy.
And this is Bunny Stevens.
And we are the two folks that will be running this webinar today. I'm Debbie, and I am the director of the Digital Edge purchasing program here at Educational Service District 112. We're in Vancouver, Washington, right across the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon. Do you want to tell a little bit about what your position is, Bunny?
Sure. And I am Bunny Stevens, and I am the procurement contract specialist. So I am the individual that monitors the contracts once they are in place, and we'll be working closely with the awarded vendors.
So you'll notice that your mics are muted, and that is so that we can present a whole lot of information to you, but we don't want to leave you unable to ask questions when you need to. So in your control panel, you will see that there is a questions window, and all you have to do is expand the little plus sign by the questions window, type in a question, and hit return, and we will see it. We will stop and respond to questions at the end of every section of our presentation, and we will take the questions not necessarily on a first come first served basis, because if the question has been asked and answered already, then we won't take it again, but we will try to get through all of your questions. So we certainly want you to leave with all of the information you need on how to participate in this bid, and that's the outcome of this particular bidders conference today, is that you will leave with the information you need in order to understand the bidding process in a way that will result in a successful bid experience for you. So we do want you to do something when you do ask a question. When you ask a question and type it in the questions window, if you will reference the page number of the invitation to bid before you type the question, that will be great. If the question is based on something that you've heard us say and you don't know what page it's on, then just go ahead and type the question. I do want you to know that we are recording this bidders conference today, and it will be available on the invitation to bid website that you've already found, obviously. We hope that you have downloaded all of the materials. Bunny's going to go over those materials in just a second. So that is what I think I want to share to launch this webinar. Can you think of anything else, Bunny?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to you so that you can start. I think you're going to have to. Okay.
Well, good morning again. This morning, just to give you an overview of the purpose of the webinar, we're offering this bidders conference in order to have an opportunity to highlight portions of the invitation to bid. It is extremely important that you review the invitation to bid and in its entirety prior to submitting a bid, and also to review the bid forms. We will review the bid forms to assist you in submitting your bid, and Debbie will be covering that later on in the presentation. This virtual webinar is beneficial to potential bidders by providing an opportunity to have questions answered regarding the content of the invitation to bid. Debbie mentioned that earlier. We will stop periodically throughout the presentation to answer questions. So as she gave you directions on submitting that, that's when we will address the questions. The instructions for accessing the materials were emailed to you yesterday. The direction for those was to go to the website. Let me find it here. Oh, it's not it. Here.
Did we close it? Well, we can just go to the.
Bear with me a moment.
Okay, go there and then we'll just open it up.
Okay, thank you.
It's not showing. Okay.
So yesterday when I emailed you, I directed you to go to the invitation to bid section within our website. And this invitation to bid section here is where you hopefully have downloaded all the materials that were needed for everything for the presentation. The invitation to bid we will be referring to and the bid forms, as well as the appendices and the cart manufacturer's support form. The cart manufacturer's support form is available through the website. It is not, and that's where you should download it. And this we will cover later on, but this form, as well as the appendices, needs to be submitted with the bid in order to be eligible to be accepted. So be sure to refer through this and the appendices that start on page 44 of the invitation to bid. Okay. Now Debbie's going to review the next section.
Did you want to go? Is it? Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We skipped ahead, and this is the part of what I referred to earlier with the bidder's qualification form, the appendices A, B, and C, which I mentioned are page 44 of the invitation to bid, and the cart manufacturer support form that I just showed you that was available online through vendor resources. And the complete set of bid forms as well for bundled solutions is also available on the website.
okay. This is Debbie again, and I just wanted to let you know what's behind this bid that we are inviting you to respond to. The ESD works closely with districts, and we watch what's happening out there in the landscape. And we know at this point in time that there's a huge movement toward putting tablets into classrooms. And of course, as you know, there's a whole lot that goes along with putting tablets into classrooms. There are carts, and there are keyboards, and there are a number of different things. In addition to that, it's helpful to the purchasers when the vendors can provide services to get those materials ready for the classroom. So materials or services such as the auto enrollment of the Chromebooks and the asset tagging of the devices and the laser engraving or the laser etching, those are all helpful services, and the districts are very interested in them. A year ago, we invited vendors to respond to a bid that ends with 13A. You'll notice that all of these contract numbers are very similar, but the last three characters are usually your key to when we invited bids. And 13A means that that was the first part of the year 2013. And you can see that we invited bids on wireless devices and their related solutions. And then during the next 12 months, the tablets came out of the woodwork, and there were all kinds of tablets that were introduced during that next year, and we didn't have them on the contract. So we opened up another invitation to bid, and we just recently, within the last month, awarded additional wireless mobile devices and related solutions in response to invitation to bid that ends with 14A. So now we're at a place in time where, as I look ahead, I know that the districts that we serve are interested in bundled solutions. And that means They want to buy their solutions from one vendor who can provide them with everything they need. So that means that the bundle solution must be provided by a vendor that can provide Chromebooks and carts, tablets and carts, keyboards for those tablets, covers for those tablets, the 3 services I mentioned earlier, which are auto enrollment, asset tagging, and laser engraving or laser etching, and then some miscellaneous services. The purchasers, some purchasers really like the convenience of getting those all bundled together and making a single purchase. That's what this particular invitation to bid is all about. So this invitation to bid is about bundles, and it will not, as this sentence in the 3rd bullet says, it will not replace contract 13A or 14A. This is a unique contract. These SKU numbers will be bundled items. The bundle will be the SKU, not the individual items. So I want to emphasize here that on page 5 of your invitation to bid, we make it very, very clear that vendors are eligible only if they can provide all of the solutions we're requiring or that we're requesting in the bid forms. And again, I'll go over those with you. Chromebooks and carts, tablets, and of course carts. The 3 services I mentioned, which are auto enrollment, asset tagging, and laser engraving or laser etching. The keyboards for the tablets, protective covers for the tablets, and then the last page of the form, the last worksheet in the form is just miscellaneous items that the bidders can self-select. But if there's a vendor who cannot provide all of those products and services on their bid, then that vendor is not eligible to submit a bid. And I'm sorry to say, but I do need to say it right now, that if a vendor submits a bid and cannot provide all of those services, they will not, their bid will not be accepted. So I just want to tell you that up front so that vendors who can't, that might be in attendance today, but that cannot provide all those products and services, don't waste time with submitting a bid. And the significance of knowing about this is that bidders, when they submit their bids on all of the devices that we request in the bid forms, their bids become part of their bid score. And so that's why, to equalize the playing field and to administer a fair bid, we just want you to know up front, you have to be able to bid on all of them, because we're going to be comparing bids from bidders that can provide all of the requested products and solutions. Okay, I've probably overemphasized that, and I'll move on. The last bullet on your, or the last main bullet on the screen is all about the Smarter Balance tests. This bid is also related to the Smarter Balance tests. If you have been keeping up with educational trends, you'll notice, or you'll know, that the Smarter Balance tests will be taken online starting in 2015. Most schools are ramping up to provide those tests to their students on wireless devices. So again, we want to position the schools and we want to position the vendors to be ready to find each other and get the schools equipped with what they need. The Smarter Balance tests, the Smarter Balance Consortium has put out a document that is available on our Invitation to Bid website, and it has the specifications for what we're looking for. So, for instance, if we'll go over this when I go over the form, but these are not my specifications. What we're looking for are either Chromebooks that have a certain size screen, or tablets that have a certain size screen. It's the 10-inch class tablets, because smarter balance tests can be taken on them. They cannot be taken on tablets that have a smaller screen size. So we're looking for Chromebooks, obviously, but the tablets have to be at least in the 10-inch class, and then we're also looking for keyboards for those tablets, because they are going to be needed. As a matter of fact, they're required. The Smarter Balance tests need to have, well, the tests themselves will take up the real estate of the screen for the students, so that kids are going to have access to keyboards. They can be wired or wireless, and then eventually they are going to need headphones and with mics. So again, if you look at the bid forms, when I go over them, you'll see what I mean. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. Now, these purchases are significant for the schools. They usually end up to be large purchases, and we know that different states have different purchasing laws for schools. In the state of Washington, when a school purchases more than $40,000 of equipment from a single vendor throughout a year, they must get quotes from 3 different vendors on their solution that they're seeking. Now, remember, when you're talking about a district, sometimes a district is an organization where the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. So the Social Studies Department might be buying $30,000 worth of Chromebooks, and the Special Ed Department might be buying $15,000 worth of Chromebooks. But as a district organization, they have exceeded their $40,000, and in that case, they need to purchase off of a competitively bid contract. That's what we want to provide for them, so that they aren't caught in an audit finding because the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing in their organization. That's not a criticism of the districts. It's just a reality that sometimes, you know, in September, they don't know what's going to be purchased throughout the year, so they just need to be they need to look for contracts that can provide them with the safety net, I guess, that we're looking for. When a district in Washington over the course of a fiscal year achieves $75,000 in their purchased solutions, then they can't even use 3 quotes anymore. They have to either put out their own bid, or they have to piggyback off of an existing competitively bid contract. And again, we're here. That's what our service is to the district, is to make sure that they're positioned well and can buy off of a competitively bid contract that meets purchasing law, and that will prevent them from getting an audit finding. So that's the landscape. There are a lot of different reasons why we're doing this, and that hopefully that helps you to understand why we're here today. All right, Bunny, I think that I'm going to turn this back to you.
Okay. So I'm going to refer to page 4 of the invitation to bid. So I'm going to give you a moment to turn to that while I get it up here. Just bear with me one moment. Okay. So the timeline that is stated on page 4 of the invitation to bid, you're going to want to refer to and review all of the timeline, but I want to point out a few key dates. June 12th, next Thursday, is the last day for bidders to submit requests or questions regarding the invitation to bid. And this needs to be submitted to myself, and my email address is not right there, but it's the digitaledge.specialist@esd112.org. And that should be in an email form, not through the phone, because I need to post all those questions on the website, so I need to receive them in an email form. And then I will respond when it is posted on the website, so then you can review your answer to the question. Tuesday, June 17th is the last day for any revisions or addenda that we have to appear on the web page. You need to be sure to check and refer back to the web page when submitting your bids, because those items that are posted there need to be signed on addendas and submitted with the bid. Monday, June 30th is when the bids are due at 4:30. I must emphasize that it's 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. We recommend that you send it earlier than that time frame, because anything that is received at 4:31 or past 4:30 will be rejected. July 1st, we will be having our public bid opening that morning at 8:30 Pacific time. And there's other dates here for you to review as far as the bid evaluation period, but I want to also point out here July 23rd is the mandatory virtual meeting for awarded bidders. And when you receive your letter of intent to award, it will reference this, but be sure to mark that now on your calendars so then you have that time reserved. We will have 2 sessions, one in the morning from 10 to 12 o'clock, and again in the afternoon from 1 to 3 for Pacific time. And again, there's more dates here to review. The mandatory meeting, just bear with me a moment while I get back to here. Oh, I'm sorry. Go down here. Excuse me.
Yep.
Oops. Okay. And this again gives you an overview of those mandatory meetings on July 23rd, which is a Wednesday. So be sure to please block these dates. And then July 31st is the date that we will have the effective date of the contract. And more information will follow once items are awarded. The scope of work on page 10 of your invitation to bid is the next section, and again I'll give you time just to look at this. The invitation to bid requests the most competitive prices from manufacturers or their authorized resellers or agents that can provide bundled solutions for wireless mobile devices for their eligible purchasers. As Debbie mentioned before, the bidders need to be able to supply all components that are required for submitting a bid. So the scope of work, as I mentioned on page 10, goes through the information that is available on here. The bidders are advised to consider their purchasers' needs and to select products of high quality. The basic bundles, as Debbie had mentioned before, are wireless devices, specifically Chromebooks and wireless tablets, charging and syncing cards, and in the case of Chromebooks, the Chrome OS management license. These are the components in the basic bundles. And when Debbie goes over the bid forms, you will see that we are seeking entry-level, mid-level, and high-end cards. The delivery-ready services that Debbie had referred to before are services that include the asset tagging, laser engraving or etching, and auto-enrollment for Chromebooks. The Smarter Balanced Assessment Consortium accessories are also listed here, and we do have a link on the web page. And the bidder's choice for additional bundle solution, this is the bidder's choice where we're seeking bids on additional solutions that can be combined with basic bundles that will meet the needs of the purchasers. And again, authorized resellers. Bidders shall be authorized resellers of all products and services they offer in their bids. The contract period for invitation to bid 14B is from the date of the final letter of award that will be sent out once awards are established to December 31st, 2015. We do have the option to extend the contract out to an additional 4 years, and at the time, if we extend the contract, then you'll receive an agreement to extend the existing contract from myself, and we'll follow through that process. In the post-award requirements sections on page 20 to 29, I'm not going to cover in depth on this section, but I wanted to make sure to point out a few things. Bear with me while I get to that page. And if you have your contract printed out, please refer to page 20 as well. So the post-award requirements goes through many of the requirements that are needed to be met once you are awarded. But in order to be eligible for an award, you shall demonstrate in your bidder's qualification form, which is Appendix A, that you can meet these post-award requirements. So we highly suggest that you go through and review the post-award requirements that covers insurance, many details on here, but go through and review all of that prior to determining if you are going to submit a bid, because you need to know that you can meet those post-award requirements. And once you review the post-award section and the provisions that are in here, if you feel that you can meet those requirements, then you can submit your bid. All awarded bidders after the award will meet with Debbie and myself via mandatory virtual meetings, and we will discuss these post-award requirements in depth. Again, you are advised to review this section prior to submitting your bid. Upon receipt of your letter of intent to award, the potential bidders will be advised in that letter to begin gathering the information that is required in this section, such as the insurance, etc. And all related forms that have to do with post-award will be reviewed in depth at that time as well. So now we are going to open up for questions. Oops.
So let's get back to this screen. Okay, so we do have a question, and the question is, are we only able to provide bundled solutions for the items that we currently offer on Digital Edge, or can we extend them to other manufacturers? Okay, so I believe that this asker is currently on 14B, is that correct? Okay, 14A. 14A, okay, I'm sorry. All right, so this question is coming from somebody who has already been awarded a contract on the contract that we just recently awarded. And the answer to that is you can bid on bundled solutions for any cart manufacturer and any device that you currently sell. You are not limited to anyone. You can pick and choose which ones you want to bundle and submit as a bid. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Page 10, paragraph 1.2 is about the next question. Let's see. So the question is option of including these services with their basic bundles. Have the option of, okay. No, that's okay. That's a good question. I think you're wanting that clarified. If you look at the language in section 1.2 on page 10, the last sentence says purchasers will have the option of including these services with their basic bundles. That is actually the wrong language in there, and we will have to create an addendum for that. It's not that purchasers will have the option. Well, okay, I need to back up. This will be covered when I go over the bid forms. But the way that bidders will bid is that they will bid on basic bundles. And they can offer basic bundles, and the basic bundle is simply a set of devices that go with the cart. That's called a basic bundle. And then if the purchaser wants those additional services added to the basic bundle, the bidder must be able to provide those services. So that's if the purchasers desire them. So that's what I mean by the purchasers have the option of adding those delivery-ready services to their basic bundles. So actually there is not an addendum that's needed for this particular language. It is correct the way it is. Are there any limitations to what we can bid on if we have already been awarded items on other ESD contracts? No, I think I just answered that. There are no limitations. You can bid on any manufacturer line of devices and any manufacturer line of carts that your heart desires. So there are no restrictions. Where do you put them on the bundle form? Well, I don't know what you're referring to, Paul, when you ask that, but maybe that will become clear when I go over the bundle forms themselves. Or if you want to submit a really quick clarification in the questions window, maybe I can answer that now. So I'll give you a second to clarify what you mean by that question. The question is, where do you put them on the bundle form? So, okay, so the same asker has added to that question. Options will be on other forms then? Yes, I will certainly review the use of the forms here in just a minute. It is so important. It is so important that you understand how to bid and how to use the forms, because if you don't use the forms correctly, the way that they're intended, then I won't be able to, Bunny and I won't be able to evaluate your bids and compare your scores. If you don't use the forms correctly, you'll be considered non-responsive and the bids will be rejected. So it's really, I'm so glad that all of you are here to watch the demonstration on the forms. Just to make sure we're all really clear, the contracts that end with 13A and 14A allow the purchasers to purchase onesies and twosies of tablets or Chromebooks or a single cart by itself on a purchase order. They can order one protective cover if they want to. This particular contract that we're going to award is all about bundles, and it does not replace contracts 13A or 14A. Those contracts will remain they will continue to be in effect, and we're just going to add another contract. So, okay, let's give our attendees about 20 more seconds to think of any more questions before we go on. Okay, there are no more questions that have appeared. So what I'd like to do at this time is just catch up here now. And on the screen you see that this next leg of the presentation is all about covering what you need to know about the bid forms. And all of this is laid out starting on page 11 of the invitation to bid. I will show you how to fill out the bid forms, and then after I show you that, I will talk a little bit about what you need to do to submit your bids, and then I'll talk a little bit about the bid evaluation. So there's still a lot to cover, so hang in there with me. Okay, so all right. Whoops. This is the Excel workbook that is downloadable on the Invitation to Bid website, and it, as you can see, it has a set of worksheets in it. The first 3 worksheets that are color-coded in blue at the bottom are all about collecting information about the bidder. Now, for this particular invitation to bid, unless a manufacturer can provide all of the solutions that we're seeking, then it's most likely that the bidder is going to be a reseller or distributor of the solutions we're asking for. So Form A is the first form, and this is just simply where you come down here and you fill in all of these cells that I'm clicking on that provides the information we're seeking. Okay, so you just look to see what we're asking for and you type it in. All right. So then keep continuing on down on Form A. We want to know in this set of bid forms, because this set of bid forms is all about 2 manufacturers. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. But in this set of bid forms, you need to identify which cart manufacturer you're going to work with in this set of bid forms. And for right now, I'm just going to put Bretford as a cart manufacturer. And you would fill out all of this information about who your Bretford contact is. And then you're going to fill out this next part, who is the manufacturer of the wireless devices that you're going to bundle with the Bretford carts. And let's just say that in this case it's Samsung. Okay. So now all of these bid forms, all of these worksheets in this set of bid forms are all about Bretford carts and Samsung devices. Now if you want to combine Samsung devices with Anthro carts as well, that's fine, but then you would just open up a second set of bid forms and submit those, okay, as well. But this set of bid forms is all about Bretford carts and wireless and Samsung wireless devices. And you fill in all this information. So keep that in mind. So Bretford and Samsung, I'm just going to make a note, Bretford and Samsung. Okay. Now, coming down here further, you're going to just simply put an X in the states that you want to include in your bid. If you sell Bretford carts and Samsung devices in all 12 states, you would mark, and if you wanted to include all 12 states in your bid, you would mark X's in all 12 states. Okay. Then over here on the right, you have to provide us with some assurances. Can you provide evidence that your bid prices of your bundle solutions are more competitive than regular educational pricing? And believe me, we may ask you for that evidence. And you must say yes. I mean, the only right answer is yes. If you cannot say yes in that, then don't bid, because we won't accept your bid. It has to be more competitive than regular educational pricing. Can you provide evidence that you are a reseller of all, not only a reseller, but authorized reseller of all products included in this bid package? And again, The only acceptable answer is yes. And again, is your company able to provide all of the products and services, meaning those three, including those three delivery-ready services, the asset tagging, the laser engraving or etching, and the auto-enrollment. And again, the only answer is yes. Then, down here, the very last cell on this spreadsheet is all about your bid score, and right now it's set at 0. That bid score, you'll notice I can't click in that cell because it's locked. It's and all of these spreadsheets are locked and protected so that they can't be changed. But that score comes from the bids you submit, and we'll go over those in just a second. Okay. Now, in a nutshell, this invitation to bid is looking for bidders that can provide all of our solutions that we're requesting on all of the bid sheets, and that comes up with the lowest bid score. However, and when I say the lowest bid score, I mean the lowest bid score for the combination of Brentford carts and Samsung devices. So when we receive bids, and when we compare them, we will only be comparing bids. We'll group bids together that are alike, and they're going to be alike if the bidders bid on identical cart manufacturers and wireless device manufacturers. So two bidders that both bid on the cart manufacturer called Brentford and the device manufacturer called Samsung, we'll group those bids together and we'll compare them. And we'll look for the bidder with the lowest score down here. Unless among those two bidders, one of the bidders has a higher score because they bid more items. And let me talk about that. We have awarded bids in those cases in the past because we're looking for solutions that meet the wide variety of needs of a very large audience, and that's the eligible purchasers in the K-12 sector of education and higher education. So, you know, the more you bid, we know that the higher your score is going to be. That's okay. That trumps a low bid score that somebody else gets because they didn't bid very many items. So just know that we look at both your bid score and the number of items that you are bidding. Okay, more about the bid scores later. Form B is all about who your contacts are. Bunny collects this information and she wants it ready as soon as we award bids, so we ask for it up front. And we also ask for information on Form C about who your sales force is. Okay, all right. Then starting on the first pink form, down there, the pink label down here, this particular form now is where you start submitting your bids. And here's a general description on this form about what we're seeking, and then here are the bidding requirements, including the specifications and the things that you need to be paying attention to as you bid. So put the name of your company up here. This is the Hansen Company. And notice that over here you can't click on the score because it's going to be calculated as you start filling out this form. So what Chromebook model are you bidding on this worksheet? Well, let's just call that Chromebook model ABC. Now, I'll just call it Chromebook model A. So everything on this worksheet that you fill out is all about Chromebook model A, whatever that model is. And as soon as I press enter, you'll notice that as you scroll down on the worksheet, Chromebook model A is preloaded into the Chromebook model column. Okay, so here it is here and here as well as up here. All right. Now, remember this set of this particular bid is all about, or this particular worksheet set is all about bundling devices from a single manufacturer with carts from a single manufacturer. This particular worksheet is all about Chromebook Model A. All right, so in Chromebook Model A, we want you to bundle it with an entry-level cart by the manufacturer that you're listing. So we're going to call this is going to be Bretford Cart A. That's whatever the entry-level cart is. And I'm going to talk about who decides that in just a second. And notice that as soon as I typed return, the form preloaded that cart into the entry-level cart bundle with Chromebook Model A. Okay? So now you have everything you need preloaded here, and all you have to do is provide a SKU number for me. Let's call this SKU number 55555. And then in this particular entry-level cart, how many bays are in that cart? That entry-level cart might come with, configured with 20 bays, and there might be another entry-level cart A that might have 24 bays. I'm just making numbers up. Maybe that cart can be configured with 32 bays, and maybe it can be configured with 40 bays. But what we want you to do is put all of the configurations for Bretford Cart A into your form, okay, and give them each a SKU number, okay. And then over here, we want you to look across each row. Now, for 20 Chromebooks of Model A and a cart from Bretford, Cart A from Bretford, we want you to add 20 Chromebook operating management licenses. You have to be able to sell those, and if you don't, if you're not an authorized seller of those, then you're not eligible to bid. But how much would all of this cost? How much would it cost to bundle 20 Chromebook Model A's with Bretford Cart A and 20 Chrome operating licenses for those Chromebooks? And I'm just going to throw out a number. It's probably not the right number, but let's say it's $25,000 and hit return. You're going to bid hard numbers. In other bids that we've solicited, we've asked for discounts or markups. This time we're asking for real dollar amounts. Okay, for that same cart, except for with 24 bays in it, that's going to be a little bit more expensive because the number of Chromebooks must match the number of Chrome licenses for that cart. So that's going to be a little bit more expensive, and that's going to be, let's say, $27,000. Okay? And then a Bretford Cart A with 32 Chromebooks and 32 licenses all bundled together. Let's say that's going to be $35,000. Again, I don't even know if that's real or not, but and then there's one more. That cart comes configured with 40 bays, so let's say that that's going to be $42,000 for the cart, 40 Chromebooks, and 40 management licenses. All right, so I've just now offered 4 bundles. And by the way, you do have to include all of the bay configurations in your cart. Again, in your bid, because we're looking for bids that can meet the diverse needs of a very large audience. Now, you've offered 4 bids or 4 prices here for different bundles, and if you look up here now, you have a bid score of $129,000. You're starting to build your bid. It's not $129,000, it's 129,000 points. And if I go back now to Form A and click on Form A, you'll notice that now your bid score so far is 129,000 points. And we do keep track of points out to the 100th decimal point. Okay, coming back to the Chromebook bundle that we're working on, I want to continue on with that. Oh goodness, I hope I'm not locked up. I'm probably, oh goodness. Let's see here. Let's just see if I can not have to start over. Oh, bunny, it looks like I'm going to have to start over.
That's too
bad. Because I am definitely locked up. All right. Well.
Shoot, that's too bad. Bear with us a moment.
Where's the response it's looking for? Bear with us for just a second. I don't see a dialog box that's open. All right, well, I am going to have to force quit this. I'm so sorry. Leave it to technology to go belly up when you need it to work. All right, let me see if I can open that puppy up again. Oh, maybe it'll, well, no, it didn't recover it. Okay. Well, I'm sorry that happened, and you know, all right, so this was Chromebook Model A. This was ABC for the entry-level cart. The mid-level cart is cart number, I don't know, GGG, okay. And the high-end cart, the premier cart, is cart number ZZZ. Okay. Now, again, as soon as you identify the Chromebook that you're going to bundle with each of the 3 levels of carts, the entry-level cart, the mid-level cart, and the high-end cart, those pieces of equipment get preloaded into column B and column C, all the way down here. And then your job is to identify a SKU number for each line item, identify the different bay configurations for each cart, okay? And as soon as you identify the bay configurations, you'll notice that the number of Chromebooks in that bundle matches the bays in the cart, and the number of licenses match the bays in this cart. And then you just submit your bid price for 24 Chromebooks with this cart model and 24 licenses. Now, that is considered a basic bundle. Definitely a basic bundle. Okay? And every time you put a number in the over here in column G, it becomes part of your bid score. So you'll notice that there's another identical worksheet where you can bid on another device from that same manufacturer, another Chromebook model. So let's say that this Chromebook model is 789, And you still need to bundle that Chromebook model with an entry-level cart by Bretford, ABC. You need to bundle this Chromebook model with a mid-level cart, maybe that's DDD, and you need to bundle that Chromebook model with a Premier cart, XYZ, okay? And again, just like the previous form, those models now are preloaded in the correct sections. The entry-level cart that you put up here is preloaded in the entry-level section of the form. The mid-level cart is preloaded in the mid-level section of the form. And of course, the Premier cart is preloaded here. And all you do now is, again, provide the bays, the number of bays, all of the bay configurations in the cart, and then submit your bids on the bundles. So, well, I want to go up here and talk a little bit about these carts by the manufacturers. I mean, who gets to decide which entry-level cart, which cart by Bretford is the entry-level cart, which cart by Bretford is the mid-level cart, and which cart is the high-end cart? Well, again, in order for us to be able to compare bids in a like and fair and equitable manner, we need to know that somehow the cart levels have been standardized, and we're looking for you to go out and let the manufacturer of the carts determine which cart meets which standard. Okay, so on the website there's a form called Manufacturer's Identification of Cart Models, and you need to fill this out, or I'm sorry, your manufacturer of the carts need to figure it out and fill it out and provide it to you, and you're going to provide this form in with your bids. So if you're bidding on Bretford carts, you need to fill this out, and you're the reseller Hanson company. Okay. Actually, the cart manufacturer would fill that out. But I want to know, what does Bretford consider as their entry-level rolling cart? Well, maybe ABC, and maybe they have 3 or 4. Maybe it's 4RTC, and maybe another model is ZZZ. Okay, so Bretford has identified those 3 models as entry-level rolling carts based on the description we've provided here, and they get to decide that. And I'm telling you, all of the bids then that come in with Bretford's cart models included in a bundle better have identical manufacturers' identification of cart models, because if this is filled out by the manufacturer, then it should be the same for everybody. And then they need to identify their mid-level carts, and maybe they only have 1 high-end cart, and that's fine. But once they do that, then you can decide which carts you want to bid for your entry-level carts, mid-level carts, and high-end carts in your bids. Okay, then the manufacturer fills this, they read this, and they have to sign down here to make sure that we know that they can make those assurances to us. Okay. If the manufacturer does not completely fill this out, if you submit a form, if you submit this form and it is not completely filled out, if it is not signed by the official authorized person at the manufacturer's company, your bid may be rejected. So make sure you get this done. It's a very, very important part of the bidding process. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this particular set of bid forms here, and you'll notice that down here you can bid on 2 different Chromebook and cart combinations by Samsung and Bretford. You can bid on 2 Chromebook combinations. All right, so you can, and that's it. We don't want any more than two forms filled out for Bretford and Samsung. But then if you keep going, you'll notice that this holds, the way that I showed you to fill out the Chromebook forms holds true for the tablet forms as well. We're going to let you bid on up to 6 different tablet combinations that create bundles. So each one, you can identify the tablet you want to bid on by the Samsung company, and make sure you identify what operating system it utilizes, and then the 3 entry-level carts that you want to bundle with that tablet. And again, this particular form works the same way as the form I just demonstrated. Okay. Then here comes the form about delivery-ready services. So I just got done showing you how to fill out your forms for the basic bundles. And again, let me punctuate. A basic bundle is a bundle that is created by combining devices, a certain number of devices with a cart. That's your basic bundle. And if they're Chromebooks, then the basic bundle is a cart with a certain number of bays, and then that number of Chromebooks, and that number of operating licenses, or the management licenses. Okay, so when you get to this form called Delivery Ready Services, you can see what we're looking for. We're looking for bids on products and services that will enhance the basic bundles, okay, making it easier for the purchaser to implement the devices. Okay, so what you do here is you go back to the bay configurations that you have included on all of your basic bundles. Okay, so if you have bid any carts that have 24 bays in them, then you need to put 24 here. And if you have bid on any carts that have 30 bays, you better put 30 there. You have to, because we want to know how much it would cost for you to do the auto-enrolling for this number of Chromebooks or this number of Chromebooks. And if there was another cart that had 42 bays in it, then we need to know how much it would cost over here for you to auto-enroll that many devices. So provide us with any pertinent details in the middle. Don't forget to fill out this part too. Will you offer a more competitive contract price for your bundles if more than one service is requested by the purchaser? Yes or no? Well, when it says more than one service, all of the 3 services are on here. The auto-enrollment, and if you scroll down, the asset tagging is on here, and you fill out asset tagging just like you do up here. And then the third bundle, or the third service is at the bottom, laser engraving or etching. And again, fill out all of your bay configurations here and let us know how much that would cost. Okay? So we want you to be ready to add these to a basic bundle if the purchaser requires it. And so that goes back to the question that was asked earlier by the asker who asked us to clarify that the purchasers have the option of adding these services to their basic bundles. Yes, they do. They can either buy a basic bundle or they can buy a basic bundle that includes any or all of these 3 delivery-ready services. And the vendor would just, at the time of the sale, the vendor would just add any or all of the delivery-ready services that the purchaser wants to the basic bundle that the purchaser is purchasing. Okay, on the next tab, you can see what we're looking for. We're looking for headphones and headsets. please read through here and give us your, now this is where, yeah, give us the manufacturer and the model of headsets and headphones that you sell. And here's the thing. Now, neither Bradford nor Samsung may sell headphones or headsets. On this particular sheet, you know, you need to go out, you probably are going to need to go out and look in your catalog to see what you sell and who the manufacturers are of the headphones and headsets. They're likely not going to be Bradford and Samsung. That's okay on this form. Okay, here are the keyboard requirements. So tell us who the manufacturer is of the keyboard that you're bidding, the model that you're bidding, and the bid price for that keyboard. And on this particular form, I believe that you are bidding single unit prices. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I'm right here. Yes. In row 11, bidders are bidding on single unit pricing that can be adjusted more competitively for volume purchases after bids are awarded. So make sure you pay attention to that. Give me a single unit price for each item that you're bidding. And then finally, there is the final sheet that lets you offer additional items for only the solutions that are in the basic bundles that you're bidding. So we're looking for heavy-duty protective covers for elementary students, such as the gumdrop, or folding protective covers, cover cases for secondary students. We're looking for teacher dashboards, wireless access points, networked printers, that actually, yeah, could be a wireless printer, surge suppressors. You know, you don't need to, notice that this particular sheet doesn't produce a score at the top because this sheet isn't scored. It's not competitive. But if you're awarded a bid based on the sheets, based on your bid score that comes from the competitive sheets, which are the basic bundle sheets, the delivery services sheets, and the, I guess that's, yeah, that's all. The basic bundle sheets and the delivery ready services sheets. Then you can add the Smarter Balance accessories and the Bidder's Choice accessories onto the contract if you're awarded a bid. Okay. Ooh, I've talked for a long time. Let's stop and field some questions. Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at ones that we have already awarded.
That was the last one.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the next question that came in is this. So this contract will cover sales only when purchasers buy, say, 30 Chromebooks, a cart, and management software. Yes, this particular contract is meant to provide purchasers with already bundled solutions. And the bundled solutions that they will be able to choose from are the ones that are awarded to the winning bidders. All right. If you have no bundled contracts, to what do we compare in order to prove lower? I don't know. I don't understand that question. I'm trying to decipher that. So if you have no bundled contracts, to what do we compare in order to prove lower?
We're not asking for a price adjustment. We're asking for a price that the three components in the bundled solutions are going to be. So your question about to prove lower is not relevant.
Well, except for if we get two bids from Bradford
Correct.
from a bidder who's bidding on Bretford carts and Samsung devices. Those are the two bids we'll compare.
Yeah, that's true.
And we're going to compare those two bids against each other. We're not going to compare them against any previous contracts that we've awarded. So I hope that answers your question. And if it doesn't, just re-ask it or ask for clarification. We're going to go on to the next question here. Is the bundle pricing for just the products only, or does it include any additional services like unboxing, setup, etc.? We're only looking for what are on the bid forms. So we're not looking for unboxing. We're not looking for setup. We're simply looking for the products that we're requesting on the bid forms. We're looking for Chromebooks, and we're looking for tablets in the 10-inch class. And the only services we're looking for are named on the sheets. We're looking for asset tagging, laser engraving or etching, and auto enrollment of Chromebooks. And again, the bidder must be able to provide all of those in order to be eligible for submitting a bid. The next question is, can we add additional tabs for basic bundles? We can bid multiple manufacturers for both carts and Chromebooks. Okay, that's a really good question. So the answer is no, you cannot add any tabs to this set of bid forms. Not to this set. I just showed you the combination of Bretford carts and Samsung devices. So that particular set of bid forms requests no more than 2 Chromebook combinations and 6 tablet combinations. And that's all you can bid. You cannot, in that particular combination of manufacture of carts and manufacture of the devices. However, like I said earlier, if you want to offer Samsung devices with Bretford, you would fill out one set of bid forms, and then you would open up another set of bid forms if you wanted to bid Samsung devices with Anthro carts. And that would be its own unique set of bid forms, and that would be compared against anybody else who bid on Samsung devices and Anthro carts. So, but no, you cannot add more tabs at the bottom because that would skew our scoring system is not set up for additional tabs. If they have multiple entry-level carts that cover several different models that have all configurations, how do we handle it? You get to choose. You get to choose which carts you want to bid. Okay? It's your choice. But I would say, you know, the carts have to be rolling carts. So you need to go to the manufacturer, and I would do that fairly soon if I were you, because if there are any questions that do arise after your manufacturer completes that support form and gets it back to you, you have until what date to submit any questions?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. So do that soon. Okay. The next question is, what if you sell Acer, Lenovo, Samsung, etc.? No problem. You can combine Acer with any cart model that you want and more than one cart model if you would like. You just have to use different forms for different combinations of cart models and device cart manufacturers and device manufacturers. You can also then submit bids on Lenovo with various cart manufacturers, and you can submit bids on Samsung with various cart manufacturers. However, let me advise you that yes, you definitely want to position yourself to be able to sell to a wide variety of purchasers, but it can be a heavy burden if you bid a lot of things and you don't plan to sell them or you don't sell them. So if I were you, I'd pick the ones that you think have the most chance of selling and combine them into bundles and go for it. But there really is, I just want to clarify, there is no limit on how you can combine the manufacturers of carts with the manufacturers of the devices. Can we bid more than 2 Chromebook bundle options? No, not with the same manufacturer of the carts. Okay. However, if you'll just remember, if I can go back to this Chromebook sheet, by the time, I need to get that sheet out of the way. By the time you put in your Chromebook model here, and then 3 different models of your carts, I mean, one form will have up to 15 different bundles. And so you already have a lot of options, or purchasers will already have a lot of options just by the very fact that you will have filled out this sheet. So as I think more about that question, and I'm going to repeat the question again, can we bid more than 2 Chromebook bundle options? The answer is no, not with the same cart manufacturer. But again, I want to clarify, if you want to bid Chromebooks from the same manufacturer with different manufacturers of carts, you can do that. Okay? Just use different bid forms for each combination of cart manufacturers and device manufacturers. Okay, the next question is, the headphone pricing will be more competitive if we can base the sales on a bundle price formula. A single headphone has about $6 each, whereas a bundle of 30 would be about $1 each or less. That is true, and I recognize that. But for comparison purposes only, I need a single unit pricing. Okay? So we know that once the bids are awarded, we will come back to you and ask for what the volume pricing is for the different bay configurations that you're awarded. So that's what we'll do. But for now, just know that everybody is bidding in the same way. Everybody will submit single unit headphone pricing for during the bid phase. How are the tabs figured out? We have only 2 Chromebook options and 6 tablet options. Why? Okay, that's a good question. And that is because of this. The tablets, Chromebooks are Chromebooks. They run one operating system, whereas the tablets come in Windows, and they come in Android, and now they're coming in with Google on them. So we wanted to give you lots of options for tablets, but Chromebooks are Chromebooks. So here's what I want to say. You don't have, as long as you can offer one Chromebook combination and one tablet combination, you've met the intent of the bid. Just because there are 6 tablet tabs on the worksheet or in the workbook doesn't mean you have to bid 6 different tablet bundle combinations. But again, we're looking for bidders that can meet the wide variety of needs by our purchasers. So bid in the way that meets your company's needs. think about your purchasers and what their needs are. Think about your capacity to carry out the post-award agreements and bid accordingly. Okay? What if they have multiple memory options, touchscreen capabilities, etc.? It doesn't seem fair that you have 5 tablets and only 2 Chromebook tabs. It's fair because everybody gets to bid according to our specifications, and all of the tablets must be touchscreen. That is in the bid specifications, so they must be touchscreen. Multiple memory options. Okay, that's true. That's true. Pick the ones that you want to sell aggressively. That's all I can say. We'll compare the bids and take the lowest bidder with the lowest score unless there's a bidder that offers more options. Do it for a minimum order of 20. I'm not sure what that means. Do it for a minimum order of 20? That's the question. I'm not sure. Oh, headphones? No, I don't. Okay. No, for the headphones, I want to go back. For the headphones, back here, the headphones are back here, one of the final tabs. They're one of the smarter balanced accessories. And again, row 11 says bidders are bidding on single unit pricing that can be adjusted more competitively for volume purchases after bids are awarded. So please just go ahead and bid on a single unit. And we recognize that the pricing will become much more competitive after the awards are made. There are Chromebooks with 2 gigs and 4 gigs of memory, and they also have touchscreen versions. Can we have 3 tabs for Chromebooks? No. Chromebooks have non-touchscreen standard and touchscreen capabilities. Yeah. Bid on the ones that you would like to bid on. And I think I've, bid what you'd like to bid. It's very open. Do you have some thoughts about that?
The only thought that I have just to interject here is that, as Debbie stated before, if you have one set of bid forms that has the combination of Samsung and Bradford, as she mentioned, and then you have another set of bid forms that you submit that is a Samsung and Anthro, for instance, you dictate on your bundled Chromebook which SKU you want to bid in the combination with those cards. So that doesn't mean that you could bid the same lot number or SKU number on the the Samsung Bradford bid form as you do on the Samsung Anthro bid form. So you can change the Chromebook lot number with the different bid forms, but with each bid form you only have 2 tabs for the basic bundle for the Chromebook. And that needs to remain the same.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that finishes all of the questions. So I just want to make sure that I've made it pretty clear that, again, we'll compare combinations of Chromebook cards and devices. We'll put them together and we'll compare the scores. And we'll look at the bids and see how you bid. And if you have a higher score because you bid more items, well, that's written into our evaluation process. So just know that that's a possibility, that even a higher score could win the bid if it's a higher score because of the bidder offering more solutions in their bid. Okay, let me go back to our PowerPoint, and I want to talk a little bit about how to submit your bids. Okay, and this is in the section of your invitation to bid, starting on page 14. If you're a bidder that was awarded a bid in response to invitation to bid 14A, that's the one we just awarded, then you can skip page 14 because, oh, with the acceptance, oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Tab 5.
Tab 5?
Tab 5 is the one that they are not required.
Okay, I'm sorry, you're right. You are absolutely right. So if you were, all right, let me correct myself that everybody needs to fill out, actually I provide a checklist on page 14 for you to monitor and track what you've submitted, but every bidder shall submit a 3-ring binder with the required documentation that's listed on page 14. And the items in tab 1 and tab 5 are not required of bidders that were awarded contracts in response to 14A, which was just awarded a month ago. We already have that information for them. But for those bidders that did receive awards just a month ago, we still need the items in tabs 2, 3, and 4. Right, Benny?
Correct.
All right. So all of the items listed on page 14 go into a binder. All right? So, and it explains how to put that binder together. And it also explains that everything in the binder needs to also be included electronically on a CD or a flash drive. So read that section carefully. Okay. Now that's all information about your company. It's just that information proves that you're a responsible bidder. And then you have your bids. And your bids, again, a bid is a single set of bid forms. That's one bid with a unique combination of device manufacturer and cart manufacturer. And each unique set of bid forms goes in its own envelope. So here, this first envelope would have Samsung and Bradford. The next envelope would have Samsung and Anthro. And the next the next envelope would have Lenovo and Anthro. Okay, so each combination needs to be put into its own envelope, and the envelope needs to be labeled accordingly, according to the instructions on the top of page 15. And page 15, paragraph 2.0, tells you what goes in each envelope. Please read carefully so that you can get everything included and you don't take the risk of being rejected because you don't have everything you need in your envelope. And then the third part of your bid submission is your CD or flash drive that includes all of the required materials listed on pages 14 or 15. Okay? All right. So that, I've talked about how to fill out the bid forms. I've talked about scoring and how offering more solutions actually trumps a lower score. Okay? And I've talked about how to submit your bid forms and all of your bids. as per the current screen that you're looking at. So, are there any questions? I think we might have some. Well, let's see. There's one question. Can we receive a list of all attendees today? No. No, I think that unless everybody wants that, I think that we will not do that. We have to kind of abide by our own standards as well, and we want to make sure that nobody has an unfair advantage by knowing who their competitors will be or won't be and all of that. So, no, we will not be providing that list. I already did. Yeah. So. Okay, Bunny, what's next on our...
Okay. So we don't have any further questions coming in to be answered at this point, so we're going to...
Oh, yeah, I can see why the bid evaluation still needs to be covered. Yeah. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead. So we're going to backtrack one moment before we go on to the next section.
Yeah.
And Debbie's going to cover another detail.
Oh, yeah, so many details in a bid. The bid evaluation method starts on page 16, and it's a standard bid evaluation method. I've already talked a lot about comparing bids with like combinations of manufacturers and identifying the lowest score. But again, the bid forms produce a score for comparing responsive bids. But make sure you dot every I and cross every T when you submit your bid, because last time we rejected bids because bidders didn't submit the required documentation, or they threw all kinds of things on bid forms that didn't belong on the bid forms, and we couldn't do a fair comparison. So black is black and white is white, and make sure that you follow the instructions to a T. So the evaluation process looks like this. We will look at your 3-ring binder. Maybe I can go back. We'll look at all the materials in your 3-ring binder and make sure that you have submitted everything in your 3-ring binder and that you have demonstrated that you are a responsible bidder. And the responsible bidder is listed right on, the characteristics of a responsible bidder are listed right on page 16. And those of you that have been around the block with bidding, you know already what a responsible bidder is. Okay? And then after that, what we do is once we determine that you're a responsible bidder, then we start looking at like envelopes and we start comparing bids. And if there are any bids that we have to reject, we consider them non-competitive and we put them aside. Then we look at the competitive bids and we identify the lowest bidders. If there are no competing bids, for instance, if you're the only bidder that's bidding on Lenovo and Anthro as a combination for your bundles, if you're a responsible bidder, we'll award that bid to you. It only becomes competitive if there's another bidder bidding on the same combination. Okay, so that's described on page 17. Okay. On page 18, after we've identified the lowest bidders for each combination of cards and tablets, or devices I should say, then we send out a letter of intent to award. And that letter of intent tells you what we're going to award you. If we're rejecting any of your bids because they were non-responsive, because you didn't bid correctly, or because we couldn't score your bid, then we'll let you know that too. And then, like all legal bids, we enter into a 5-day protest period. If we have made an error, or if you feel that you're worthy of a bid and we didn't award a bid to you, that's your time to step it up and say, hey, you know, we think that we'd like more information, or we think you might have made an error in your calculation, although we're not going to be making any errors in calculations because they're already done for you. They're already calculated on the bid forms. But anyway, that's your 5 days of protest, and then at the end of the 5th day, we'll send out letters of award if all protests have been resolved. If you do have a protest, you do follow the process on page 18 of the invitation to bid. And the protest procedure continues on to page 19. Once all protests are resolved, then we send the final letters of award, and Bunny takes it from there and works with you to get the bid launched, the contract launched. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And just to reiterate, our launch date, estimated launch date, is set for July 31st. So,
yeah, and let me just add to that too. That we know that that's right in the middle of a big buying season, and we will work very diligently to get these awarded as quickly as possible. So all of the hard work that you do up front, we ask you to do that for us so that we can make the evaluation process quick and we can get these contracts launched, hopefully sooner than later. Yeah.
So before we go on to the next section, I think we're going to check really fast to see if there's any more questions, and we'll address those before we continue on. We're almost done wrapping up this, so let's see if there's any questions.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah. Can you email us a copy of the PowerPoint presentation? Yep, we'd be happy to. And you know what? We can also put that as a downloadable file on the web page too.
Correct. It will be. I will upload it onto YouTube, and then it will be. You will view it on our app as well as through our website. So it will be on there. That is where the questions and answers will be. You can listen to questions and answers again there. I will not list each question and answer separately in our question and answer section on the website. They are just going to be, you'll be able to listen to it again throughout the broadcast that's available on the website.
Okay. That's really the only new question that's come in.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So now Debbie is going to cover about our exciting new app.
Oh, right. This is so fun. One of the things that we're really proud of is that we have developed an app for the Digital Edge that has all of the products on all of our contracts in the app. And as you can see, right from the main screen, somebody who has downloaded our free app can click on awarded products and get a list of product categories, and in this case it'll be wireless bundles. You know, that'll be the category, and both the user and the seller will have access to this wherever they go. So we hope that you like this. We hope that you'll download the Digital Edge app for your iOS phone or your Android phone, and that you see that as beneficial, and the purchasers can do the same thing. It also offers power deals. And did you talk about power deals? Probably not today, did you?
No, that'll be covered in depth.
Okay,
later.
Afterwards. And if we have notifications, for instance, if you're offering a power deal, Bunny can send out a notification to everybody who has the digital app saying, hey, the Hansen Company has just offered a power deal on the Samsung Brentford bundle. And make sure you check it out on the Power Deal website. So, yeah. So we'll cover the app more in depth after the bids are awarded, but for now I just wanted to make sure that you knew that we had it and that it is getting downloaded. All right.
Okay.
So,
All right.
who's closing up this party, Bunny?
This is me.
This is you.
So
Okay.
I just wanted to emphasize when Debbie spoke about the app as well. The power deal and email blasts and all of those are great benefits of having a Digital Edge contract in our marketing tools that we help promote out to the districts. And the Digital Edge app is something that we highly encourage you to download. It's available, like Debbie said, through the Google Play and the Apple Store. The information for the invitation to bid is on the app as well. The video recording, as I mentioned before, for the webinar will be on the intranet, and I'm going to show you exactly where it will be on our. Oh, shoot. Well,
What are you looking for, Bunny?
I was going to show the website.
Yeah, why is that? Okay, so let's, okay, just type in the URL.
Sorry, bear with me here. So again, the information for the invitation to bid is under the For Vendors tab. And here is where all the documents that I mentioned before, that if there's any additional addenda, they'll be posted in this section here. The question and answers that are posted to myself then are available on the website here. But this section is where I will also put the link for the recording of this broadcast, so you can review it there as well. Please be sure to check this on a regular basis, because when you're submitting your bid, you need to have all the forms that are here noted, as well as the addenda if there are any addendas. Social media that we have, excuse me, there. So the social media that we have available that we utilize is Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as the app. So those sources is where you will also be able to find the Virtual Bidders Conference recording on those three sources, as well as through the app. So be sure to make sure that you friend us on these sources, so then you have the ability to review them, as well as on the website. And the one final note that I want to say is that when you do submit your bid, as stated on the website, we advise that you email me at the Digital Edge Specialist email to let me know that you've sent your bid, so that I can watch for it and will be aware that it's on its way, and then I will notify you when it is received.
Okay. Well, I think that covers all the questions. No more have come in. So we want to thank you for joining us today. You have met the first requirement of participating in the bid, and that is, of course, to attend this mandatory bidders conference. So again, thank you for joining us. We want to wish you all good luck as you think through what you want to offer and make your offers in your bids. So we'll look forward to getting bids from most, if not all of you.
Thank you very much for joining us.